I'm back. I would have been here earlier, but I had a dental appointment this morning, and I'm surprised that I can talk when they put a syringe in you and they're putting the instrument in your mouth and they're numbing you, and you don't want to hear about my personal life. Suffice to say, other than I feel kind of okay, and I can talk about some politics, especially some good news right now. And we do have some good news. If you're any kind of a socialist, if you're a democratic socialist or a social democrat or a libertarian socialist or even an anarchist that is willing to support somebody that's worthwhile within the system, and even people I may not necessarily agree with, such as your standard Marxist Leninist that would be in groups like the Communist Party USA or in committees of correspondence for democracy and socialism, or even your generic independent socialists, whatever orientation they may have. We can all kind of rejoice in the fact that Nina Turner, who is a former state senator of Ohio in the 25th district, a history professor at Cuyahoga Community College, a campaign surrogate in 2016, and national co-chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2020, is now running for the U.S. Congress in Ohio's 11th district to fill in the seat for soon to be former Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, who's been appointed to be in the position of Housing and Urban Development by President elect Joe Biden. That's for Marcia Fudge. I barely know who she is. The reason I'm going to say barely is I'm assuming that she's probably a centrist, but I'm not sure. Suffice to say that I believe that if Nina Turner runs in the primaries and then wins that special election, that we will have one more awesome member of Congress to fill in a slightly expanded squad. That's how I'm looking at it. And what was initially speculative about Nina Turner running, she is now filing the paperwork for that special election. It's been confirmed. So I'm assuming there's going to be a primary, and I'm just curious who else is running and how much corporate money, unfortunately, will be hurdled to try to put a stop to her. But I am glad she's running for Congress, and I'm just going to I'm just going to keep it real. She's got my support already. Nina Turner, I'm going to tell you about her life briefly. She was born as Nina Hudson on December 7th, 1967, and is December 10th right now. So happy belated birthday to Nina Turner, to Nina Hudson Turner. Her mother was a Protestant minister. I do not know what denomination, but she's the daughter of a preacher. And when she graduated high school, referring to Nina Turner herself, she worked in mostly retail before she went to college. She eventually got a bachelor's in arts and a master's in history at Cleveland State University. Afterwards, she worked for as a legislative aide for then State Senator Ryan McClellan, and served in the Cleveland City Council for a few years and the Ohio State Senate for a few years as well. So around the Cleveland area, that's Dennis Kucinich's territory. If you remember, Dennis Kucinich ran for president in the year 2004 and 2008. He was the former mayor of Cleveland, Ohio. So I see the connection there. Anyway, and as I said, she's now a history professor. And she runs a podcast called Hello Somebody. She is married to Jeffrey Turner, who is a lieutenant for the Ohio National Guard. Well, she came into prominence in the year 2016 and 2020, and working for Bernie Sanders. That's how she became known. I had the pleasure of seeing her live last year in at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill. Was from afar. I didn't get a chance to meet her, or Bernie Sanders. Got a chance to see him from a distance too. And she gave a great speech out there and a great introduction for Bernie Sanders. And so that's how people know of her. And I've been following her for the last few years, and I enjoy it when she goes and get interviewed in the mainstream press and the mainstream media. They don't know how to handle her because we socialists are suddenly a thing at the moment. We became, hopefully we're not a fad that's going to fade away like the old American socialists decades ago. Hopefully we're here for the duration and we could be a fixture politically and culturally in America the way that socialism has been a fixture in the political culture of other countries around the world, whether it's our closest allies like Great Britain, or people down under in Australia, New Zealand, or whether it's in Japan, or whether it's whether it's in South Africa, or whether it's in Costa Rica, or wherever around the world, that we could be mainstream here too, and that's what we're working on. And democratic socialism, as I said, it became a thing. Not only is democratic socialism is being discussed on a very serious level once again. Hopefully, we'll have a second New Deal out of this eventually. Eventually, we were challenging what happened to the Democratic Party in the last, since the 1980s. It's not like the Democratic Party was an awesome place to be in the 70s, but it was closer to being a mass labor party then than it has become. Um, we were beginning to be kind of like the British Labour Party in the UK, except the Democratic Party was just not quite ready to call themselves socialists. They were not ever a socialist party. They're not a socialist party now. And I kind of have my doubts that they ever will become a socialist party. But contrary to what the right says about the Democrats, they're not socialists. In fact, if anything, and I've said this before, and I'm kind of meandering a little bit, getting back to Nina Turner in a moment for reference. The Democratic Party, if anything, if you want to compare it to British politics, it's less like the British Labour Party, with maybe the exception of Tony Blair. Yuck. During his time while he was prime minister, but one can argue that the U.S. Democratic Party is probably in some ways, on some economic issues, slightly to the right of the British Conservative Party, slightly to the right of Thatcher on economics. Pains me to say that. But we were sitting there challenging Clintonianism, the Democratic Leadership Council, the Third Way. And that's what the Bernie Sanders campaign was about. This is why Hillary Clinton hates us. And this is why her minions, the near attendants around, and other people that's party establishment, whether they're Joe Manchin or whether they're Joe Lieberman or whether they're Bill Clinton himself, Barack Obama, the establishment of the Democratic Party, Dianne Feinstein, Kamala Harris, all of them. We're challenging their soft Reagan bullshit that they've been hurling at us since the 1980s. And it's upsetting. That's why we're smeared. We're smeared as communists. We're smeared as pro-Russia apologists. We're smeared, weirdly enough, we're smeared in the same way that Trump might be sincere. Might be smeared. But the point is, we're smeared because we are truly the good guys. They're smearing Trump because it's just a partisan game with them. But the thing about it is, Bernie Sanders inspired this movement. And we're talking about Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. We're talking about Ilhan Omar. We're talking about Rashida Tlaib. We're talking about Ayanna Pressley, the original squad. And with due respect, shame on Ayanna Pressley for choosing Elizabeth Warren over Bernie Sanders in 2020. Shame on you. Otherwise, you're okay. We have a slightly expanded squad now with the 2020 election. And they're saying that the Democrats didn't do so well congressionally and lost seats because of the squad and because of Bernie Sanders, because of socialism, and because Medicare for all. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. The people that lost, Democrats have lost in the election were Democrats who were diet Republicans. They were not people but that had the views of AOC and Bernie Sanders. So get over it, corporate Democrats. But anyway, we have a slightly expanded squad. I would even include Tulsi Gabbard, who's unfortunately leaving Congress. And in her case, she is probably as far left as the squad, but gets smeared by the corporate Democrats, and even some of the progressives have smeared her as this stealth right-wing person for which she's not. I have talked about Tulsi Gabbard before. I'm going to miss her. She helped Bernie Sanders' campaign by exposing to this country what the DNC were doing in 2016 when they rigged it against Bernie Sanders. And remember, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, and I don't care. They cheated Bernie Sanders. The Democratic Party establishment cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016, and they cheated him again in 2020. He was cheated twice. Okay, deep breath. But I don't say this about Tulsi Gabbard and go on. As a matter of fact, Tulsi Gabbard and Nina Turner are very, very good friends, and they're political allies of each other. But let me go on with this. Marcia Fudge being HUD secretary means that there will be a special election. And this is why, if you're on the left, you need to go and get behind this person. You need to go and make sure that a corporate Democrat piece of shit is not going to be the nominee. That we need Nina Turner, and we need her now. And I'm going to give you links below how you can contact her. You can keep up with her on YouTube. You can contact her on her website and donate and spread the word out about Nina Turner. Use social media, whatever platform you're on. You spread the message about Nina Turner. And I even got her podcast link below called Hello Somebody. And so this way, if Nina Turner can win in this special election, not only will you be taking on the Republican right, that they're unhinged as hell, you'll be taking on their little second fiddler called the corporate Democrats, who, when it comes to Ohio politics, corporate Democrats are too busy sucking John Kasich cock and telling the progressives to fuck off. In regard to John Kasich, just go back to the Republican Party and talk them into being moderates. Don't try to make the Democratic Party in your image. And unfortunately, Governor Kasich, the Democratic Party is already too much in your image. We're trying to put a stop to that shit. But anyway, to put a stop to the Republicans and to put a stop to the corporate Democrats and to have a slightly expanded squad. And we need to do this. We need to keep this social democratic movement going. If we are to have Medicare for all, if we are to have an economy where if you work for a company, chances are it will have it will be a union shop, which means that you'll have a higher wage. It means that you'll have good benefits, long vacation time, and a decent pension. Basically, what Nina Turner's offering is what Bernie Sanders has offered, and what currently AOC is trying to fight for, and what we're trying to fight for here, even here in YouTube land, with all the left wing YouTubers making their case, and I'm just one more big mouth making my case. And right now, I'm making my case. You got it, Nina Turner for Congress. Do what you can to support her. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you were triggered, well, sorry, that's just the way things have to be. Comment anyway. If well, if, feel free to share the content on this channel. As the First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that if you have a platform, utilize it. If you don't have a platform and you're passionate about something, utilize it, because we're the muckrakers of our time. And most importantly, well, yeah, most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Hit it and get to hear commentaries from my over opinionated ass at times. I am American social democracy. Peace. Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024, and Nina Turner for U.S. House of Representatives in Ohio's 11th district this year. Well, in 2021, when the election takes place. Peace.